This shit pisses me off to no end. I mean, it's at the height of sport, at the Olympic level, all the way down to girls who are still in puberty having to deal with a boy out in California. And it's not just California, it's Washington State. It's actually, we have quite a few examples teed up of these boys running in the girls' track meets and participating in the girls' sports. And this ridiculous accommodation by California to try to get out of the thumb that President Trump put down on them last Tuesday by saying, okay, if a male wins the girls' race or event, they're both going to get a first place medal. Everyone's a winner. And they're both going to literally have to stand atop the highest platform. The girls have to share it with a fake girl like she belongs there instead of being there alone as the clear best. No one's saying at a women's event they're the best in the world at everything. They're saying amongst women who play this sport, they're the best. You know, right now it's Iga Swiatek, but Coco Gauff is making her way up. We're watching the French Open. Like, there's only one is the number one girl. And it's a lie what's happening in California. This is a bullshit accommodation, which Gavin Newsom is all too happy with, because somehow he thinks this is like the fairness thing that he just couldn't come up with. He thought about it for 2 minutes, just couldn't come up with anything better. And an attempt to skirt the big hand of Big Daddy, Trump, who is ready to rain hell down on these guys. What do you make of it?
Well, it's funny you brought up Iman Khalif. I just remembered months ago when that whole situation happened with the boxer, Taylor Lorenz, of all people, direct messaged me on Instagram and said, you should take your post down because you're wrong. That's not a biological man. That's fake information. And I was like, Taylor, are you sure? I don't know, but I was scared of getting canceled. Turns out we were right. And I thought, you know, it walks like a duck, talks like a duck, it looks like a man. And my rule is always, you know, do you have shoulders like a linebacker and an Adam's apple the size of Alabama? You are probably a man, okay? My eyes do not deceive me. I know a thing or two. So no, that was funny that Taylor Lorenz told me to take my post down about the boxer and that I was wrong and spreading misinformation. And we are always vindicated time and time again. And when it comes to California and Gavin Newsom, does he not remember his little podcast with Charlie Kirk when he was doing his sort of rebranding, reinvention tour, which lasted 2 minutes? And he said it was a fairness issue. He said men should not be in women's sports. And I questioned Gavin Newsom as a father, right? He has daughters, he has a wife. Do you want your daughter getting beat up on? You wouldn't want your daughter sharing a locker room with a man. These people are full of crap. Gavin Newsom, it's the rules for thee, not for me. There's no way these men want their daughters going through the same thing, but they're so scared of this liberal progressive mob, this minority in their party that is actually just so loud that they constantly capitulate to them. I think Gavin Newsom, if he wants to run in 2028, he's going to have to move more to the middle. Pete Buttigieg is trying to rebrand. Tim Walz is trying to rebrand. But we will be here holding them to account because we remember how radical these guys are and that they would not protect women.
Let that be a lesson to everybody to listen to this show and not to Taylor Lorenz. A lesson nobody needs. Literally nobody listening to that needs that. This needs that. Yeah, she's wrong on everything. I mean, she everything she writes is guided by her very strange emotional state as opposed to a commitment to facts. And I will say, look, it's even harder to stick to real facts when everybody's coming down on you as you are feeling. But those who can do it will establish a name for themselves and credibility in this industry, and those who bend the knee will not. Same thing happened with Tampon Tim. Tampon Tim definitely signed a law saying that girls and boys, all the bathrooms had to make tampons available in the Minnesota schools, and they tried to deny it. And the Star Tribune, which is disgustingly far left partisan hack paper, tried to say we were wrong, and we weren't. We were not wrong. And we showed the audience the videotape of the lawmakers having the debate. The trans lawmaker out there was the biggest evidence I had for my side. This person was all over the debate saying, no, in the boys' rooms too. And I mean business. Right. Anyway, let's go back to what happened in California. So this AB Hernandez, who I'm sorry, I'm sure this is somebody who's very confused, but there's something very strange about this person. He looks like a boy trying to look like a girl, and he wears like almost kabuki makeup. I don't know what's with the kabuki. What's going on with the kabuki makeup, right, Link? You know what I'm saying?
It's
it's weirdly clown
queen makeup at the track meet. It's really crazy.
It's like super white. Like, this is what I joke with Doug, that he's trying to psych out his tennis opponents because he never rubs in his sunscreen. And it's like he's trying to freak his opponents out, like kabuki. I don't know what's that, like a geisha.
They look wider than I do. It's a lot.
Right. So anyway, I don't know what the AB Hernandez approach here is, but I do know he's winning. So he was allowed to compete at the states. This is state championships. He won first place in the triple jump, took home gold, finishing with a jump of 42 feet and 2 inches. The real winner, who was a girl, Kira Hatcher, placed 40 feet, 5 inches, so 2 feet behind him. I mean, that's a lot. He beat her by 2 feet in the, I'm mixing. Okay, in the triple jump, Hernandez jumped 42 feet and 2 inches, right? And Kira Hatcher, she jumped 40 feet, 5 inches, so she was 2 feet behind him. And they were both forced to share the podium. In the high jump, he and 2 actual girls all hit 5 feet, 7 inches. So those 2 girls, who actually did tie one another for first, had to share it with yet a third person, a boy, AB Hernandez, who tied them. And AB Hernandez took second place in the long jump. An actual girl did finish ahead of him. Her name was Lauren Webster. She was the only female to finish ahead of Hernandez in any competition in which the trans athlete competed this past weekend. She was the only one. And he shared the podium with the second place winner, Brooke White, who didn't get to have second place on her own, but had to share it with him. So he, ahead of Saturday's competition, was caught on camera by NBC4 in Los Angeles, talking about how there was this rule change where he, if he won, was going to have to share the podium. And here's what he said.
Just nervous right now, state finals, back here again. Just like trying not to get in my head and just relax, but it's a little harder this year. They should have just left it alone this year and try and fix it next year.
I see. He should have been allowed to win everything. That's the bottom line, Link.
Well, I'm happy to see more and more girls revolting. I saw a video of girls walking away. I think they're going to start fighting back very loudly because they have people like us in their corner. They have the internet in their corner. They are on the 80% of this 80-20 issue. So I'm happy to see these high school girls. They're going to start pushing back and it's going to become more aggressive. And I will be right there with them, cheering them on. But what's the hypocrisy that we're seeing right now is that Gavin Newsom and all these leftists, they're about DEI, feminism, protecting women, women supporting women. But then they're fine with girls getting beat up, losing out on gold medals and scholarships. And also, there are girls across the country who might not be in California. They might not be in a big city. And for them, winning that medal is the scholarship to get out of their small town and to go off to college and to expand their worldview. And when they're losing out to men, they're stripping them of their future that they've worked so hard for, getting up at 4 a.m. every single day. And then selfishly, I don't know anything about sports. And every time a man is in a sports competition stealing it from a woman, I have to do copious amounts of research. I'm like, what is the CIF, long jump, high jump? I don't know what all this is. So if they could stop putting men and women's sports, because I'm having to learn all about sports when I know nothing. Okay, can you please stop?
Just having to learn about sports takes a lot. Never try like to keep track who's female, who's male, or in the Olympic boxer, who's got which chromosomes exactly and what happened to them. Right. I have a packet in front of me in preparation for today. This all happened over the past weekend. We had examples of this in California, in Washington State, in Oregon, in Minnesota. I could go on. I mean, it's happening in state after state after state. Again, there was a teacher at my daughter's school who just told her 2 weeks ago that there are only 10 of these trans athletes participating in girls' sports. It's a lie. It's not true. It's happening every week in every school, in practically every city across the country. Now, I wanted to spend 1 minute on the messaging around this AB Hernandez because his mother came out and, of course, cloaks her son in glory, doesn't acknowledge that he's cheating. He's cheating. He's got a male testosterone advantage, and he's got male limbs advantage, and the jumping ability, and the height ability, and all the advantages that your average male has over the average female. So she gives an interview saying, well,
I would still lose.
Every case. She gives an interview to that same NBC affiliate, and every single trope that the trans community offers up to justify this was offered here. Listen.
When you see how happy this kid is being herself, the first time I saw her come out dressed as a girl where she didn't have to hide it from me, I saw it in her face. So I was like, this is it. This is what she wants. I'm going to support it.
Behind AB's every move is her mother, Nereida, who has been watching from the crowd and protecting her 16-year-old daughter from nearby protesters, both on the ground and in the sky.
I'm not losing my child because of my stubbornness and for me being closed-minded. Like, I'd rather embrace our times together, even if it's been this difficult, than going to a cemetery and crying because I couldn't accept something.
So everyone uses the female pronouns. This is how you lose the argument. NBC saying she's protecting her daughter. Who if you imagine how confused the audience is out there. Why is all this hubbub about a girl running in the girls' events, about her daughter participating in girls' sports? And then just the added cherry on top is she's going to commit suicide if we don't let her do this. All of you are trying to make my daughter kill herself by standing up for fairness and safety in girls' sports.
Well, that's what the medical lobby does. There are these sick doctors who tell the parents of young kids, some of them are single digits, they're 12, 13, 14. If you don't buy into your kid's gender dysphoria and put them on the cross-sex hormones and go through that process, they could take their own life. That's kind of the go-to, and we've seen it time and time again. Honestly, I think puberty is probably the best healer or panacea for gender dysphoria. Let those hormones come in, go through puberty, and if you're 18, 19, 20, and you still really feel like you're trans, then you're an adult, go make that decision. But in this case with the mother, I feel like if the child is underage and the mom is pushing the kid to transition, the kid should probably be taken from you. It's sort of the opposite of the Tim Walz model. If you're pushing your kid to transition and be injected with hormones, I question you as a parent, and that's when I think the government should step in and protect these children, because there are sick parents who are injecting their kids with hormones. There are countless teenage girls getting mastectomies. I don't care what the liberals say in my comments. You can look up the statistics. There's no reason 16-year-old girls should be getting their breasts cut off in the name of gender dysphoria. So in this case, AB Hernandez, you are a victim, and I feel sorry for you and have empathy for you. And California should step in because your mom is buying into this hysteria as well and listening to the doctors who are probably liberal, progressive, socialist, and pushing trans every single day.
This administration is working very hard to try and fix this country. But while they're focused on fixing the country, they can't fix your personal finances. That's really up to you. And that's why thousands of Americans are turning to Birch Gold. In the past 12 months, the value of gold has risen by 30%. Think about that. How's your stock market investment doing? Has it gone up 30%? Have you made 30% on your money? And demand is strong and it's growing. While reports are that the BRICS nations are actively working to challenge the U.S. dollar as the world's reserve currency, that's not great. In other uncertain times, gold has offered peace of mind, and in these uncertain times, it does the same. Birch Gold makes it incredibly easy to convert your existing IRA or 401k into a tax-sheltered IRA backed by physical gold. Or if you prefer, you can buy gold to store in your own home safe. Just text MK to the number 989898, and Birch Gold will send you a free info kit on gold. There's no obligation, only useful information. With an A+ rating with the Better Business Bureau and tens of thousands of happy customers, take control of protecting your savings today. Text MK to the number 989898. Thanks so much for watching. If you like what you just saw, hit the subscribe button for more clips and full episodes.